Welcome to today's session. Today we are discussing about requirement analysis and specification. Requirement analysis is the process of discovery, refreshment, modeling and specification model of the requirements. That means information about the requirements, control flow of operations, behavior of the system, all are specified and analyzed in the requirement analysis and specification. So, first of all, what is the main advantage of requirement specification? That means value of good SRS. The source of most software systems is in the need of clients. The software system itself is created by some developers. Finally, the completed system will be used by the end users. There are three major parties interested in the new system: client, developers and users. So, clients are developing the system, developers are developing the system, and finally the system is used by the users. The basic purpose of the SRS is to bridge this communication gap, so they have a shared version of the software being built. The basic purpose of SRS is to bridge the communication gap between the developers, clients and customers or consumers. Advantages of good SRS. What are the main advantages of good SRS document? An SRS establishes the basis for agreement between the client and suppliers on what the software product will do. That means the client clearly describes what is expected from the suppliers and the developers clearly understand what capabilities to build a new system. That is the agreement between the client and developers. An SRS provides a reference for validation of the final product. An SRS reference for the validation of the final product. SRS helps the client determine if the software meets the user requirement or not. If the software meets the user requirements or not, that is specified on the, that means we can validate the final system by using of SRS document. A high quality SRS is produce high quality software. So maintain quality requirements and maintain and specify the quality requirements in SRS document. It reduces the risk. It reduces the risk and it also provides the quality in a software. Requirement process. Requirement process is the sequence of activities that are needed to be performed in the requirement phase and accumulate in producing high quality document containing the SRS. The requirement process typically consisting of three basic tasks. First one is problem or requirement analysis, requirement specification and requirement validation. This is the block diagram of requirement process. The system is mainly implemented for the user or client needs. The requirement process starts with the user problem. Which requirements are satisfies the user problem? That the requirement process starts with the client or user needs. Next one is problem analysis. Problem analysis means to analyze, understand the system with the help of stakeholders. After understanding the client requirements, developer to specify the requirements. How to specify the requirements? First, he analyzes the requirements. How to analyze the requirements? The basic purpose of this activity, understanding of what software needed to be provided. Frequently during the analysis, the analyst will have series of meetings with the clients and users. In this meeting, clients and user will explain to the analyst their work, environment and their needs. All these are analyzed by the analyst. Based on analysis, he gathered the requirements and that requirements are specified on the requirement specification document. So second portion is the product description. Product description means requirement specification, in which focus on clearly specify the requirements in a document. This is mainly focus on clearly specifying the requirements. This page contains representation methods, specification languages, tools, etc. Next one is validation. This is focus on ensuring that what have been specified in the SRS, all the requirements of a software and making sure that SRS is of good quality, it meets user requirements or not. That is validated. So developer is validated whatever gathering the requirements, whatever specifying the requirements, that requirements are validate, it satisfies the user need or not. It satisfies the user need or not. So if it does not satisfy the user need, the process go back. That means we change the specifications and restart the analysis. Requirement process. Problem analysis after starts with high-level problem statement. During the analysis, this problem domain and the environment are modeled in an effort to understand the system behavior. How do he analyze the problem based on the user problem and understand the system behavior, constraints of the system, input and output, etc. The basic purpose of the activity is obtained through understanding what software needs to be provided. So in problem analysis, we can identify the behavior of the system, constraints of the system, input and outputs. So that need to satisfies the user need or not. That is satisfies user need or not. Frequently during the analysis, the analyst will have a several series of meetings with clients and users. He specifies the requirements in the requirement document. So any document describes the work or organization given along with the outputs of existing methods performing the task. In this early meeting, the analyst basically the listener absorbing the information provided. That means all the information is included on the requirement document. The understanding obtained by problem analysis form the basic requirement specifications. So basic requirements are specified on the requirement specification document. Requirements are validation process on ensuring that what have been specified in the SRS that are intended all the requirements of the system or not. So last one is once the specification is done, it goes through the validation activity. This activity may several problems in the specification itself, which requires going back to the specification steps or may relieve the shortcoming in the understanding of the problem, which requires going back to analysis activity. So based on this one, if any problem in the validation, the process go back. So we can whatever we are specifying the requirements, first change the requirement. So then we can reanalyze the problem after the requirements are fulfilled. In validation, the requirements are clear and all the requirements are satisfies user need or not. Thank you.